Hi. When we think of startups, we think of the few who made it big and were favored with good funding. But there are many more startups who struggle to build up. At the same time, some manage to break even and grow further even without big investor support. We met two such companies and heard their stories. Let's listen in to them. We call them our Bootstrap Warriors.
We are an application security product company. We are in the business of protecting web and mobile applications for customers. Essentially, what we do is let the customer run their business and we secure their applications and take the pain away from them. We have 800 plus corporate customers, securing 3000 plus web and mobile applications of these customers. The addressable market is pretty huge in terms of the number of customers, serious business who care about security is probably in 15 to 20 million plus websites globally that we would be able to go after. And that is the dream that we are building towards and the only product company in India which is doing it right now, but take it global.
So Bizome as a business, as a product business, helps enterprises to increase their sales and reduce their supply chain costs. And we have more than 200 customers, more than 90,000 people within those enterprises who use that particular product as of right now. We reached what we call it as a critical mass in that particular business, which is about in terms of the reach, both in terms of brand, distributors, as well as feet on street. We saw another opportunity to do a forward integration, as we call it, to see how can we participate in the last mile transaction.
We went to the customer and articulated our vision and value proposition, and we found that quite a few of those customers are willing to pay us for what we articulated to them. So it's very, very important that we have customers, especially in B2B, who are willing to pay you for the product that you're building. If they don't, then you just have a product, not a business. So we got paying customers right from our first customers. Unit economics strong and profitable, gross margin profitable. We took that and scaled it, focused on India because that is where we are based. Our experience in terms of the evolution and the pivot that we are making is we found that once we have a conversation and once the customer tries the product, the value proposition is so compelling at the price point that we offer, the conversion more or less happens almost always. So how do I take this from my product engineering standpoint and go-to-market strategy and address the global market? And enterprise SaaS is the way to go for us going forward, and that's a very, very exciting transition that we are making, and we have already started getting some great traction on that front.
First product was a product called Mobitop. It was a mobile web runtime. It's a hybrid application platform. We couldn't raise the money that was needed to be raised for that particular bit. We also couldn't get enough customers to pay for it. Somewhere around 2009 is when we almost ran bankrupt. That was a time I actually sincerely considered going back to corporate life along with my co-founders. I just decided to stick on. Next 3 years was rebuilding, so to say, or even healing financially for us. So we would build applications for Intel and Samsung and Nokia, and Airtel and Idea and so on and so forth. It's a profit-making business, but it was not scaling. But around that time, I also ended up meeting a lot of enterprises in the FMCG or consumer domain, like Paperboat or ID Fresh. They were struggling with a lot of these problems about tracking their sales processes, tracking their sales force movement, your supply chain efficiency. We went and met more enterprises that validated that particular problem. That's how that Bizome journey started.
We're seeing a huge shift in public cloud adoption. When I talk about adoption, I mean from websites to more apps. And we are actually building for scale and scale for the global markets. And with this regards, we used to do a lot of traditional based marketing, which was events, paid branding. And we are moving towards more agile digital based marketing, wherein we are trying to get people to come to our website, take a 14-day free trial, and basically drive sales from there.
I look after innovation. We sit on a lot of customer data, and we're talking from gigabytes right down to terabytes now, because we're in line with the traffic. So a big part of my work now is taking this vast amount of data and getting it down to specific, meaningful stuff we can actually use to improve customer security.
Bizome helps consumer goods companies essentially streamline their supply chain activities and their market activities. It is a Salesforce automation solution and a supply chain automation solution. And using Bizome, companies can capture data and have a data-driven approach to driving up efficiencies across their market operations and their supply chain operations, and in the process, drive up sales and profits.
Distemand enables retailers to double their profits using just-in-time procurement. Distemand basically creates super stockists and sub-stockists, and so sub-stockists are able to deliver goods to the retailers which are ordered through the Distemand app within 24 hours, or even do same-day delivery.
Our offerings are used by banking, finance, retail, as well as a lot of new age businesses. We routinely avert about 3 million plus hits or attacks for our customers in just about a month's time. We have developed award-winning technology using our engineering team, 40 plus number of engineers spread across locations, and we've been continuously augmenting our innovation and scaling up for our global plans. So as of now, our focus area is to continue to develop our technology even further and deliver an infrastructure that is highly available and performant.
As a technical team, right now we are around 25 people, serving close to 200 customers, 60,000 plus users, and delivering almost 99.5% uptime.
We have grown to 70 plus employees, offices in Mumbai, Baroda, Bangalore, and San Francisco. Growing further with international expansion plan, completely still bootstrapped, but open to external funding for further accelerating the growth and get a speed.
Managing cash flow, whether you have this much or this much, it is an art. How I did it was to prioritize. So priority wise, the salaries of the employees would come number one, because they were the assets of the company, developing the whole products. Whenever there was a crunch, if the salaries could be staggered, and believe me, people wanting to work on a cutting edge technology, scaling the business, were open to that. Today we are really happy to say we are 93 people in 5 locations. That's apart from Bangalore, that's in Mumbai, Delhi, a small team in Kolhapur, and a small team in Mysore.
With respect to break-even, me and my co-founder and CEO Ashish Tandon, right from day one, we are very, very particular that our unit economics has to be strong, and especially in the B2B business, we want customers to value what we are offering and pay us for it. So our only concern for break-even when we started off the journey was the investment we had made initially to get the product ready and to get our first paying customer.
So with Bizome as a business, we took a very small seed funding from Ojus Ventures, which helped us take over initial costs of R&D and go to market. But then what we saw in the first time in my life, actually, I saw what a product market fit means. Essentially, we go to customers and customers want to lap it up. And that is like a viral effect. We started getting incoming leads, and we are closing anything between 6 to 9 customers each month. That allowed us to quickly, in a year and a half's time, to break even, to actually manage our costs. And once we break even, then the thought process started happening about how do we now scale it? How do we make it a $100 million or $1 billion business? The Distemand part of the piece, which allows us to actually focus on a $1 billion dream rather than worrying about $10 or $100 million dream.
As a startup, we have to think big, dream big, and look at the total addressable market, multi-billion dollars. All those are what keeps us going. But paradoxically, even though you're thinking big and looking at this big market, you have to dumb it down to the most basic level of what is the take to get one customer, one app, and how do I do it profitably. And the second learning, which I think I would put it above anything else, is the team. You cannot do this journey alone. As founders, you start things and kick things off the ground, but you need to get the team, you need to get the best engineering talent, you need to get the best sales guy. Mutually exclusive, complementary skill set, collectively exhaustive skill set is imperative, and all of them should have that excitement and something both for the personal growth aligned to the company growth.
It's actually a copied this thing anecdote, but it's called people, product, profits. Right. So you invest in right kind of people. They will build a great product for you, which will eventually get you profit. What I realized over that period of time as a CEO, as a position, as a, so to say, radar of the entire company, two things you need to have. First, you need to ensure cash flow, which means ensure that there is enough money in the bank to get right people who will build great product for profit. And second part is keeping key employees motivated throughout the lifetime.